Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is my second video. I don't have an exact topic that I'm talking about, except I do. I just don't know how long I can really talk about it. Um, I'm currently reading, it's backwards, it's inverted like Tenet, but that says Native Son by Richard Wright. It's book of the month, short story. The story isn't short. I'm saying short story. I got two books of the month from Book of the Month. They had like a $1 for your first book type of thing. I didn't realize that meant you couldn't then cancel after your first. You have to then resubscribe for at least one more month. So my first book was Catcher in the Rye, and then my second one was this Native Son. Catcher in the Rye. I liked it. It was good at first. It was funny, and then you kind of get sick of the main character, whatever his name is. He's his, because he's like it's like teenage angst and teenage edginess and like inability to take anything seriously. He's a bit annoying. But it was all right. This though, so I'm I don't know 40% of the way through. I'm page like 170. Yeah, page 177. Um, it's very good so far. I'm enjoying it. I'm actually reading 10, 20, 30 pages a night basically. I typically read at night. But I wanted to talk about this book because I have some thoughts on it. Really, I kind of want to I've been procrastinating on like life and everything. Um YouTube is one of those things I've been procrastinating on, and I feel like you can only start getting in. It's like anything, like reading, writing, anything. Like the first time it's gonna suck. You're not gonna be good at it in the first or second or third or fourth. You're not gonna be good at it. And so I think this is the problem I've been having with YouTube. I keep thinking like, oh, let me do one of these videos because if you saw my first video, I just want to make videos. I feel like it's kind of fun. It kind of fills time. I think it's also a very good outlet. And as an added benefit, if this account were to ever like blow up or whatever, then make a couple dollars off it. But that's not my goal because I just don't think that's gonna happen. So anyways, long prelude out of the way. So I'm reading a Native Son. I think it came out in the 30s, 1930s. I don't know. It is old. Like there are words and phrases that you hear in this that you're like, what? Either what does that mean or just like who says that? You know. It's very interesting. I don't know, where do I start? So I would say at first, obviously spoilers by the way, if I mean I'm halfway through the book. If you haven't read it, spoilers. Um Main character is bigger. I mean, you could go into that, right? I looked it up to see if there's any like if it's intentional or whatever. I don't know. I couldn't find much, but there's speculation, right? It's a lot about racism. He's black. It's like the 30s, probably in the book as well. I don't know. His name is Bigger. Connect the dots. Big, you know, bad word that ends in ER. I'm trying to remember. Is he described as like a big guy? I don't know. But he has anger issues. That's some part of his character. By the way, ignore my clothing. I'm a mess. This is just how my room is. My bad. Why am I apologizing? This is my YouTube channel. Why am I apologizing? You're watching my shit. Fuck you if you're judging. If you're judging me, send me a picture of your room. Show me how nice it is. Anyways, so back to this book. So the character, main guy, Bigger, right? He lives in this like tiny, tiny apartment with his mom, his sister, his brother. I don't know. Long and short is he gets a job. He goes out like he's a driver. He goes out and he drives the daughter of like the people he works for. She's supposed to go to college. They don't go to college because she's a communist. She's a communist. Um, which especially at that time is very. I don't know why I'm just explaining the plot. Whatever. Long story short, he ends up accidentally murdering her. Also, he was before he accidentally murdered her, he was going to rape her. Like it's not 100% clear if he was going to, but he was in her room. She's heavily intoxicated, and the book is basically describing he's like feeling on her, and I don't know if it says like enjoying it, but like clearly he's not stopping. And then the only reason he stops is because then the door opens and someone's there and he's hiding, and basically that leads to him accidentally killing her. She's drunk, so she can't really fight back, and he basically puts a pillow over her, um, suffocating her. And so, seemingly, the rest of the book is to a large degree about trying to get away with this crime, which so far he's done a pretty good job of. I feel like so the character, right, bigger. At first, I liked him. Then you have that scene in like I don't know, I don't. Well, it wasn't a bar. It might have been a bar, but it was. I picture it's like one of those like underground, like you step down and then it's like there's pool tables and whatever, it's like a social area. But he goes fucking crazy, pulls out a knife and he's like beating up his friend. Now the whole thing, if you have read the book, it's because basically he was too scared of doing this job, this like crime, this robbery of a store or something. If by the way, if you haven't noticed, I don't have a great memory. The details it gets a bit rough. But anyways, so what was it? So I like him at first, right? You also you feel I would say you feel very sympathetic for him because he's in this like impoverished situation, and then he's just subjected to all this racism, and the way it affects him specifically is like he just has so much pent up rage towards white people, whereas a lot of his family and friends, whether it's I don't know, internalized probably isn't the right word, more of like suppressed. For him, like he really feels it, and he feels like shame and embarrassment and anger towards white people, and if he's in the presence of them he gets nervous and he stiffens up, and you know and I think that part it's like super interesting, and of course it's a black guy writing the story, so there's obviously some level of personal experience being put into that character, right? So it's like clearly a real thing, and it's something I not only have I never experienced, obviously, but I also it's not a thing I would have imagined. It's like especially nowadays, like I can imagine, like I can try and think about racism and how it works and manifests and feels to like the victim, but specifically, especially going back in time to like the 30s and 40s, this feeling of pent up rage, but also like when you're around white people, you feel like stiff. Like I guess you could say the way not all, but many black people are around like police. It, but that just in general around any white because at the time, America was literally an apartheid country, apartheid state. So like you could get hung off of accusation, So you feel bad for him. I kind of like this character. He's kind of funny. And then he starts going a little crazy. He fights with his friends in that like pub bar thing. You're like, geez, this guy's nuts. But there's a part of you that's like, well, it's all related to the racism in his like his situation and environment. So you kind of still feel bad for him. And then he kills the girl on accident, and you're like, wow, that is an escalation. By the way, so that's something I would say I really do like about this book is it feels like how when you're watching a show or reading a book, I feel like there's certain shows or books where it's like there's like one or two big events and there's big things, and then and it's like satisfying because you're always like, oh my god, what's the next big, I don't know, event? And then you're just waiting at nothing where it's just like slow building to the next thing. Like, so just recently I finished Dune Messiah, and that book, even the first one, but definitely the second one, Dune Messiah, it's so much just like dialogue and like people just talking to each other and plotting and scheming, and especially I think it's coming off of the movies as like I love Dune 1. I love 2. I love 2. I like 1. I love 2. And there's just so much action in it, right? And then the Dune Messiah trailer, there's so much action. But then you read the book, there's like no action. There's no like crazy shit that not none, but like very, very little. And so reading Dune Messiah, it's like you could just go like 50 pages of just like dudes just kind of talking to each other, and you're just trying to figure out like, what does this mean? What is this leading to? What's going on? It's not as fun and engaging. Whereas this book, I would say, it's a lot more like every, I don't know, 30 or whatever pages, there is actually something that happens where you're like, whoa, you're like, the page like reaches out and grabs you, you know? Like for example, right? So there's the scene when he actually kills the girl, right? When it's on accident. And it's also interesting the way this guy wrote it because you're like trying to figure out like is she dead? Did he kill her? Like the way it's described at first you're like, but then there's a line where it seems like she's moving, so you're like, "Oh, wait, maybe we're chilling and he got away with it." But then all of a sudden I don't know, he checks and she's dead. And you're like, "What the fuck?" Right? So that's the for the story seemingly there's another 200-300 pages left, but that's the holy shit, this is where the story is going. But then there's like then there's like the scene where like the police officer shows up in the house all of a sudden. Now he's essentially being interrogated, and that's terrifying. And then now, I don't know, 20 pages later, um he's Jan like walks up to him and they're talk he's uncomfortable, he pulls out his fucking gun, and then Jan leaves, and then there's like a white lady on the street who runs off because she sees the gun. Like there's always something like engaging and interesting and crazy. You're not going 50 pages of just like talking, what's gonna happen, and like slowly he walked to the store. Like I guess I would say I'm not a fan of the like really slow like the slow burn. If I go into it knowing that's what it is, maybe I can. I'm looking for a fun read, and so far this has been a fun read. Um, what else should I talk about? I don't know. I don't have a script. That's something I would say I need to probably figure out how to script, like write a script. I don't know, cuz I have no script. I'm just yapping and it's more fun, but like what am I talking about? I don't know. I had a point that I deviated from, so if I can remember what that was. I don't know. Essentially something about so he kills Mary? I think it's Mary. He kills Mary, and you're like, fuck. And for me, it's like I feel bad. Like, like it was an accident. Like, it's an accident. It's just like his first day on the job. He kills the fucking daughter in the house. How's he gonna get away with this? He's black in a white person's house in a white world. He even says like I don't know. Basically, he did it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no world in which say he didn't do. He's black. He killed a white woman. You know. So I lost my train of thought. So basically, it gets really bad. Like he kills her, and it's like, okay, what is he gonna do? And so that somehow leads to him putting her body in the fucking fireplace in their house, and then you're like, oh my god, he's gonna burn her alive in their own fucking home, and then he fucking chops her head off. He takes not an axe, I forgot what they call it, but he takes basically an axe and chops like her neck and then chops her head off. So, cuz like I don't know the way the body, it needs to burn separate. Reading that, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like I okay, I understand you accidentally murdered this lady. You don't want to go to jail for the rest of your life or get fucking hung. Whoa, it was just such an escalation, and to do it in her own home, in the family home, it's crazy. Holy shit. But then when it really starts to take the turn is this I almost said this movie, this book does a good job of like really getting into his head, Bigger's head, so, and it describes how he's feeling, what he's thinking, and you see there's like he starts basically taking almost joy in like I killed this white woman, like he doesn't say this, but like essentially like me being black puts me at a lower level than these white people, right? Like they are above me, they're wealthier, they're happier, they're more secure, they live better. But I killed their daughter. I killed a white woman, and it makes him equal, and it's like the not knowing them not knowing it like puts something on him, it's kind of like the Spider-Man like when he gets the Venom suit, like embracing the villain almost. But you see like the deterioration. Now, you could easily go back and reread the book knowing what happens and be like, no, this guy was never a good guy. Like, it's not like he becomes a shitty person. I mean, he has anger issues. He fights people. He's kind of an asshole. But it's not the same. He kills her on accident, and that, I don't know, it deteriorates his moral compass. It alters his moral compass, you know? And he starts to kind of enjoy like the knowing what he has done and gotten away with in this world and, anger with white people, which obviously is understandable. Killing's bad. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say, to be honest. It's a good book. It's a great book. I recommend it to anyone. I mean, if you're watching this and you didn't read this book, what the fuck are you doing? I just spoiled the big reveal in the first like 100 pages. What are you doing? I don't know what you're doing, but you should subscribe and drop a like for my next video. Hopefully my next video is more planned out, so there's like a plan. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe my next video will be talking about the state of the NBA. Who knows? By the way, I wonder. I really don't. I doubt it. But like this shirt I'm wearing right now, I wonder if this is the same shirt I wore in my first video that I took last. Because if it is, just by coincidence, then it looks like I have one shirt. Like I'm Asmon Gold, and I live in a pig. I look like Asmon. I mean, look at my messy room. Potentially wearing the same shirt. I mean, besides that, I am nothing like Asmon Gold. He's a Nazi and there's roaches in his house. But whatever, that's besides the point. See you next time, I guess, hopefully, if I don't quit this. I don't want to quit this, but who knows? Peace.